Well, the thing I've been focusing most of my time on in that area recently is, so for Feastables, obviously chocolate is made of cocoa. There's a lot of unethical stuff that goes on cocoa farms. I don't know if you're aware of that. A lot of child labor.
Look, I've used, it depends on what kind of farms we're talking about, but
Yeah. Well, and
there's some definitely,
in West Africa, majority of the world's cocoa comes from Cote d'Ivoire or Ghana. It's like, I believe like 70% of the world's cocoa. And like
Punta Baravana?
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote Vara.
Cote d'Ivoire, yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, and then Ghana, they're on the left.
Oh, and Ghana. Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two countries are on the left side of Africa. Kind of like where the round part right there. It's like the perfect place to go grow cocoa. And so, but 46% of the labor on farms there, which is where almost all the cocoa in the world comes from, is child labor. So it's like pretty, like just a lot of things going on there. And so, that's where I've been focusing a lot of my attention because obviously we need a lot of cocoa for Feastables. And so we used to get our cocoa from Peru, which ethical sourcing is not as big of a problem over there. And we use a lot of family-owned farms and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, there's not enough cocoa comes from Peru to supply big chocolate. And I wanted to show so saying I ethically source my cocoa from Peru doesn't really prove anything because big other chocolate companies will just go, okay, but we can't do that. There's not enough cocoa in Peru. So like that doesn't count. It's not possible to ethically source cocoa in West Africa. So, and I knew if Feastables kept growing, eventually we would have to switch over there. So this past year we switched our supply chain over there and we've been just working with have you ever heard of Tony Chocolonely? Probably not.
Tony Chocolonely?
Yeah.
No, and is it a real person?
Well, it's a reporter who went like super deep in exposing like the chocolate industry and child labor.
Really interesting guy?
Yeah. And then, and he was like, and no chocolate companies would ethically source their cocoa, and he kept exposing them, and none of them
Let's have him on. Would he be a cool guest, you think?
Yeah, he'd be awesome.
Wow, it sounds crazy. I didn't know there was bad chocolate out there.
Yeah, so he started his own chocolate company to prove that you could ethically source it, and he called it Tony's Chocolonely because it's the lonely.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, badass baller company. And so I've been working with them to figure out how we can also ethically source our chocolate because they're the only ones really doing it.
Clean cocoa, dude.
Yeah. So we built a supply chain with them. And so like all our farmers were fair trade certified, and then we pay our farmers a living income because a big reason why there's child labor is because farmers in West Africa just don't make enough money. So that is like, if you're to rank the issues, like the number one issue is just income. Like they just can't even afford to hire adults. They don't make enough. So what they do and what we're doing for Feastables is there's a living income reference price where they basically look at the cost of bread, the cost of living, cost of inflation, blah, blah, blah. And they go, if a farmer were to sell you a metric ton of beans, if they don't get paid this number, then they won't be able to make a living